I'm honestly starting to think this stint of our head coach save could be used as a highlight reel for everything that could go wrong in Football Manager. We've had issues with the director of football and the squad, but they're being exacerbated today. We go into the first game of the Club World Cup against Eddie Howe's Porto, and it's in the middle of an international break. They've got 3 players away, but they've got a full squad. They can handle it. We've also got 3 players away, and you know what that means for our already fragile squad. Let's go and see how we cope with our first 2 matches, because this is becoming, well, just a joke at this point. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 90 of the head coach with me, Daniel. We are back today, as you well know, following Monday's episode, with just 1 trophy in the cabinet, having thrown away the German Cup final late on. We were looking forward to the Club World Championship, a chance at redemption. We thought, well, we play our first 2 group games today against Eddie Howe's Porto and against Chivas 4 days later, and our already brittle squad is being tested further, because Rodrigo Ribeiro nowhere near fit, and now 3 players away on international duty for our first game. This is becoming beyond ridiculous. If you're looking forward to seeing how we cope with it, as incidentally, we're playing at another one of these weird purpose-built stadiums that no club is playing in, and please do put a thumbs up on the video. We're going to get through the games, we're going to laugh at the lineups, and certainly the substitute benches, and we're just going to see if we can get through. Hopefully, it looks like most of the players return for the second game, but today you talk about the players away. It's not small players, is it? It's Thiago Fernandez, Korsavic, Sibaya, and McKendy's away as well, who would have been probably one of the contenders to come in. So it's not going to be an easy game. It's not going to be fun. But let's go and get through to the schedule and have a look at it, because you were with me as we lost on penalties to Bayer Leverkusen in the German Cup final, meaning 1 trophy instead of 2. And of course, what happens while we're playing this tournament will probably determine whether it's the end of the save or not, because we want to do an experiment into what on earth's gone on with the director of football here. But I want to see if that issue resolves itself this summer. And so far, no sign of any positive change on that front. No offers at all. Loads of coaches coming in weirdly in recent times. This one's been there for ages and nothing's happened. I might just cancel it because it's literally been sitting there for a good couple of months now. Let's have a look at the history so I can show you how many are coming in. If we go through to the staffing, we have had an awful lot coming in the second half of the year, mainly in sort of the recruitment, the sports science and the under-19s. But nonetheless, there are transactions happening, just not on the playing side of things. Let's go and get through to the fixtures for the first one today, because this is going to be pretty hilarious, isn't it? Chivas have lost to their Brazilian opposition, which means we shouldn't finish bottom because we've got to beat them in the middle game. If we beat Porto, it would take a lot of the pressure off. They've signed a lot of great young players from the start of the game and kept with them. They've also brought in a few very good young regens. So Hiroshi Ichikawa is someone you may remember from our time over in Japan, where he was a really good player. He was at Yokohama FM when we were at the Rivals. And to be fair to him, he's become a very good player, albeit not with a lot of height. Abada you may remember from Celtic days, but then Garnacho, Casadei, Zabani at the back was brilliant for us with Bournemouth in the head coach, and then obviously got sold on very quickly. But it's just a really good team with that classic mix of youth and experience. And even then, the likes of Garnacho, 28 now? I'm talking like he's going to be ancient. He's not. Let's get through the opposition instructions, get our lineup picked. It's an interesting one to say the least, because we've got players who are fatigued, who are having to play. Even though there's only 3 officially on international duty, there's more that have just come back. So the likes of Helson, Luis Skelly, Pino, Sanchez, who aren't fully fit. We've got Wirtz and Davis, who we know aren't fully fit from that cup final after injury, who are just going to have to play. And then it's a case of what youngsters do we chuck on the rest of the bench? And in the end, I've probably just got to go for a mix of positions and weird players, haven't I? So let's have a look at who's the weakest here, and then we'll leave those ones out probably. I think that's the only strategy we can go for here. Justin Meyer is useless. Albersinger's going to have to go on, so we've got a defender. And we probably don't need another left winger as well. But I'm just going to put a few of these on at random. Ozturk can go on. Albersinger can go on. Vazcan, another defender, he can go in there as well. And then of the other 2, we'll go for the most versatile option. But Again, our 11's not that bad. There are a couple of holes in defence and there are no real backups behind it. Going forward, we're okay, and we've got one fit senior sub in Hervenhov. This is the lineup in full, though. It is Trubin in goal. Raffanauer is covering at right back with Davis half fit on the left. Altrock is in alongside a semi-fit De Ligt at centre half. Vanna and Miles Skelly, the midfield two. Wirtz, the number 10. Marquinhos and Helson, the two wingers. DL up front. And not much behind it on the bench. How many youth players is that? 8 on the bench there. 3 senior subs, of which one is fit, and a goalkeeper as well. It does not bode well. We're going to go for it. We're going to try and get a lead. But I don't know what to expect today. How many are going to last 90 minutes? How many of those who were injured are going to break down? And those who are coming back from international duty later, how fit are they going to be to help us out in 4 days? I get the feeling that during this tournament, if we do progress, people are just going to end up dropping like flies. So let's say we're favourites for a reason. We get no reaction from the team. But into the first half we go at the Club World Cup. And this is really going to show how far we're going to go, because this is the best side we're probably going to face in the groups. They're a brilliant team, this Porto one. They've got a good manager. You can see immediately Ichikawa doing the inverted fullback thing. And we're trying to be a bit more aggressive and press them. But if the likes of Garnacho get in behind, we could be in a spot of bother, particularly against Raffanauer, who is a slow, young centre-half who's covering out on the right for us on his weak side. Abada gets in as we lose it high up the pitch. And Trubin would have covered it, but thankfully it's off target. 0-0 with 2 minutes gone, but the first attack is for Porto. Well, it's been a pretty poor start to the game, but we have got a free kick in a dangerous position, which we don't make use of. And with a quarter of it gone, it's the first sign of any attack from Bayern. Though Lewis Skelly might have started tired. What a run that was, though. Probably taken a fair amount out of him, but for a player who spent most of the second half of the year injured and has then been away on international duty, it's a pretty good effort as Marquinhos puts the corner in. De Ligt loses out. It's headed away. Wirtz wins the challenge. But our first attack goes without a goal. And though the stats are starting to look in our favour, we've got nothing to show for our more promising signs. Well, as we approach half-time, this is what I was worried about, to be honest. A decent first-half performance where we've done okay. We've not got the goal. We're not ahead. And now late on, a bit like that Leverkusen match, how on earth are we going to hold up? And certainly, what are we going to do in 4 days? Helson, you can see there, just run into traffic. You've got him, Skelly, De Ligt all really struggling. And you can look at Porto here. Barring a mistake, they can play out and around us all they want. They've got it up to the striker, and now in behind's Garnacho, who's done Raffanauer like he's not there. Thankfully, though, he's finishing, and he's not got his shooting boots on, because that has gone comfortably wide. It's not good enough from him, but it's so easy for him to get in, which is a big worry. You look at all the other big boys, PSG winning, Liverpool winning. We just can't find the way at the minute, as with an hour gone, we're going to have to take those 3 off soon, probably Wirtz as well. And you wonder how long Alphonso Davies is going to last. Not even sure. Yeah, we do get 5 subs here. Casadei into the striker. Just got even worse. Now I probably need to think about Wednesday's game. Can we win the other 2 to get through? Because this is problematic. Sanchez will replace Helson. Wirtz will be replaced by Pino. In fact, I might even leave Pino off the bench because we have got other options in Hervenhov who I feel like we should probably get on. He's going to come on for Miles Skelly. I've got to find a way to get these all in. I might just have to play Pino as an actual central midfielder or DL, whichever one's better at it. I'm not sure either of them are, to be honest with you, but DL's a legendary winger who is going to cover centre mid. He'll go up there. Not sure that's going to work, but, you know, square pegs in round holes and all that. It's the only option we've really got. The Ligt at the back is done. God knows what we do there. Have I got Peter Jerabek play right back? I think maybe we're going to do that. Jerabek right back and we'll put Nauer in the middle. I mean, it's not pretty at this point, is it? If we have to take Davis off, I genuinely don't know where we turn. Ivkovic is the only other player and he's okay. And in fact, I might bring him on anyway and leave Nauer on the right. We'll go Ivkovic instead because he's the better player. And then who's better to play on the right of the 2? Probably Altrock, just from a pace point of view. It's 1-0 to Porto with an hour gone. We didn't take advantage in the first half and now we're knackered. We're up against it and we're having to bring on youth players. The players on international duty cannot come back quick enough. But what condition are they going to be in? And is it going to be good enough? Because I think I know the answer to that question. We've got a corner at the other end. I could do with a cheeky set piece. A moment of magic with loads of big centre-halves on. Back to Hervenhove. What a strike from Hervenhove. 23 for the season. It's a lovely finish. And he is right in the commentary. He's produced a moment of magic when we desperately needed it. We had nothing left to give. And we found a way. Rafa now, I'm going to have to leave Davis on because he's really struggling. And I'll probably go instead for Jerebek, who's a bit quicker. As Porto play out from the back. Casadei, nicked by Yeremy Pino. What a job he's doing in there. Dylan Sanchez goes alone. And it's away. I'm going to bring Jerebek on at right back, although I can't get a break from a highlight to do it. And you all know my superstition. As Held comes down the left-hand side. Has support from Garnacho. He's beaten the offside trap, and Rafa now just can't keep up as Vanna finds DL. He loses it. Oh, keeper. This is not the day for the keeper to let one under his body from 30 yards out. It's really not the day for that. Now we might as well change Davis because we can protect him. He'll come off. Now to left back. Jerebek to right back. What a day for our keeper to not be at his best. When we really needed him to perform and dig us out of trouble. And he's letting a routine one. Abada's got a free kick. This could get ugly because we have got nothing left in the tank. Marquinhos breaks away. We're relying on DL, him and Hervenhove. And DL has had an absolute stinker. No idea why he's turned up so poorly in this one. Through ball again. It's over the bar. I'm a little bit concerned with 10 to go. We've got one really fit attacking player that started in DL. And he's had an absolutely awful game. Zabanyi plays out. Can we nick it? No, we can't. Ishikawa carries it away. Look at them getting in. Rafa now with the underhit back pass. Why are we in a position where we've got to rely on youth players in one of the biggest competitions against the best sides? Where on earth are you, director of football? Where the hell have you been? This is a joke. We're Bayern Munich and we're having to play 16-year-old kids against one of the best teams in Europe as Hervenhove finds Yeremy Pino. Can we at least keep the goal difference down? It's away as far as Vanna. And the problem now is him, Marquinhos. They're going to be done in 4 days. How on earth do we keep them all fit? Marquinhos in towards Sanchez. Might get a consolation and does. And now that stupid back pass is going to cost us what would have been a very valuable point. And that's even more annoying. It's been an even game, settled by the fact we've got youth players in defence making mistakes. And when I reflect on the situation overall, I just find it so hilarious that we've been left in this position. Let's get through to the second game in 4 days' time. Hope the other 3 are back and just see who's fit. Because now we need 2 wins from 2. Well, we're back for fitness test time, having just seen Bayer Leverkusen win their opening game 7-0. So no pressure on this one, eh? Alphonso Davies, 75 minutes again. We will try and oblige by it. Porto have won their second game, so they're going to top it now. And it's basically whether we can beat the next 2 to get through. Let's have a look at the opposition instructions because there are a few players that need closing down. We're not going to recognise too many in that side. It's another sellout in France as we go through to selection. Are the other boys back and fit? Yes, they are. So actually, we should get 4 better players into the lineup today. Sanchez and Pino are okay as well. Let me rotate as needed, and we'll be back in a minute to run through the team. Right then, we've been as careful as we can, but we still have to rotate a little bit. There's no denying that. Pino's still got a heavy match load and is still returning from injury. Helson didn't want to be in there. DL was shocking last game anyway. And De Ligt and Lewis Skelly were pushed beyond their limits, so probably need to be rested. Based on what we've seen so far, the third game is going to be the harder one. So if I can leave a couple of them out here, then we've got them on a bench of security. We are bringing in, though, the likes of Fernandez, Ceballos, Dylan Sanchez and Hervenhove. So we're adding real quality to this team, including both scorers from the Porto match. It means that Altrock moves over at centre-half, Korsavic in with De Ligt dropping out. Rafa now is not in the team. McKendy's back on the bench as well, who will be useful to have a player that's got senior experience. And I've kept Marquinhos in for this one just because of the lighter match load to Pino. And because then Pino can play the third game fully fresh. Let's go and get through to it then. We need to win this game. If we don't, not only will it be difficult for the club, it'll probably be a difficult end to my tenure as well. 3 changes made for the Mexican side who lost 2-0 against Brazilian opposition. We can book our second round ticket if we win and results elsewhere go our way. Can we? I'm not quite sure about that. I'm going to say we need to win. I want us to hold up our end of the bargain. We've got a few motivated by that. Some of the experienced boys on board. They skipped through to the first half. I need a response, and really I need this to be a big win. Having watched Leverkusen win 7, we need to be putting 5 or 6 past this lot at least, as it's headed away from our set piece early. Korsavic recycles it on the left, and he's 6 gone as Paul Vanna's getting in. Loses possession though, and it's cleared downfield. I mean, most importantly, we just need to win. If we can do it and get to a position where we can rest people later on and rotate a bit, very good news as Vanna picks the ball up to Korsavic, inside to Zabaya, who's back in the team. Boy, did we miss him. Marquinhos has Fernandez on the overlap. Another one we missed, especially with how Howe performed. Marquinhos on the right. Cuts back to Fernandez. Zabaya to Wanner. You've got space to shoot. Got to produce. It's off the woodwork. He's headed away as far as Davis on the left with the chance to cross again. But we don't take advantage. And with 8 minutes gone, it is still 0-0 though. Ultrock wins the header. The one of that youth team that's still in today, with Marquinhos looking for the overlap of a new fresh Fernandez. In he goes again. Good cross to Sanchez. Oh, you've not missed the target. I don't mind if you don't score that, but to not even hit the target, or in fact even be close to it, is pretty embarrassing. Korsavic with the yellow card. We need to encourage. Where is our threat? Where is our goal threat? 25 gone, 0-0. We've had the better of the game, but we need to open the scoring soon. We need to get these floodgates open. Wirtz on the left-hand side, back to Sanchez. Edge of the box to Paul Vanna. Back into Sanchez. Good ball. Chance to shoot and scores. Makes amends for that horrific miss earlier on. And adds to his goal and assist from the first game of the tournament off the bench. That's a really important one. Half an hour gone, we are ahead. We're not doing it pretty at the minute, but we are doing it. And we stay in good nick looking ahead to the third game. I just want another 1 or 2 to make this safe. In truth, the Mexicans have offered next to no threat, but at 1-0 we know it can always go wrong. See note, German Cup final. Paul Vanna gets it to Ultrock at centre-half. Into Zabaya. How many yellows for a suspension as well? Got to watch that with Korsavic as Florian Wirtz is in. Good ball from Marquinhos. And a composed finish, which should wrap this match up. And boy, do we need that. On the stroke of half-time as well, just takes all confidence out of them. We know they'll go for it in the second half now at 2 down. All AI teams do in FM. And I'm hoping that means we'll get a chance to catch them out. And on the counter in behind, we should be lethal with this team. Let's see if we can reduce just that. As ultimately, as we predicted, the Mexicans straight on the front foot start of the second half. The last thing we want to do is concede one and make it nervy though. As Gomez gets away down the left-hand side. Pushed back by Marquinhos, who does really well pressing. And now up front, Wirtz is trying to join Hervenhov. Vanna misses it, as does Korsavic. Not the best defending there. We've committed and been caught. As Lara's being chased by Davis and Sanchez. But they're in behind. Gulen on the edge of the box. Back to Martinez. Space to shoot. Good defending, Sabaya. Forces him backwards, but they're still going for it. It's a long old highlight this. Saavedra on the right-hand side. Alphonso Davis trying to work it for him. Wins it back for Dylan Sanchez, who's lost it on the edge of his own box. What's going on? Ball across, and my word. That is pathetic. Really, really poor defending. And Dylan Sanchez, from hero to villain, is giving away the goal, and we're going from the kickoff. This could be a very nervy second half. Dylan Sanchez, I mean, imagine we went out in the groups. Davis picks it up to Vanna. At the very least, we're not getting to rest people early here. Sanchez down the left-hand side. Can you make amends? It's a good ball in towards Hervenhov. Keeper punches. Zabaya wins it back for Fernandez on the right. Space to run into. 4 in the middle. Marquinhos is one. Great save. Reflexes to get it away as well. And with 5 gone in the second half, we're back on top again. But we're down to third now. The goal difference is back behind because of conceding that goal. And that's why we need a strong finish here. As Vanna finds Sanchez. Davis on the overlap, but crosses with his right foot. Marquinhos loses out. Wirtz on the right-hand side. Fernandez on the overlap. Zabaya finds him. It's a great 1-2. Lovely triangle. Marquinhos heads in. And it's 3-1. We are checking with VAR. It's whether there's an offside. They're saying Sanchez didn't even touch the ball in that attack. Not sure where he was. The goal's awarded anyway. And we're back up to second. Now can we add to it? You can see Sabaya struggling. Davis will have to come off. Korsavich on a yellow I'm a bit worried about. But he does look fit, which is fine. As Sanchez gets in. Great run, good save. Bit of a mixed game for Dylan Sanchez, isn't it? Started so well and now it's going wrong. As Marquinhos is knackered too. Wirtz will take the corner. In towards Sanchez. Drops for him a second time. He's got two on the edge of the box. Will he just cut it back to them? He does. Here's Paul Ranner and now Wirtz. Into the box, unmarked. He's got a chance. Evades one challenge. Back to Vanna. Sanchez. Wirtz again. I think he's off. This time the referee's arm is up straight away. So VAR will check. But I think this is going to stay 3. But either way, I think we will make some subs now. The goal review, it is disallowed. With just over 25 to go. Then we'll start to look at a few little changes here. We're going to do it. We're going to bring off Zabaya for... I think we'll do Miles Skelly and then De Ligt for Vanna. And we'll put Korsavich into midfield or even leave De Ligt there just for the physical edge. Going forward, we've got Hervenhoff struggling to perform. Diel is there and available, but I'm going to go Marquinhos off for Jeremy Pino. McKendy's there too. Do I bring him on for Alphonso Davis? We'll switch him to the right, Fernandes to the left, focus on attack. Is now half sort of trained as a right back. He's competent there. And I'm going to leave the last sub, but it probably will be Hervenhoff for DL, just because whoever starts up front seems to play woefully. 20 minutes to go. Come on, boys. I need more from you. Dylan Sanchez now looks like he's had enough, so we're going to have to change the sub. I will bring DL on instead of Helson because he's fitter and he's happier at the club. But I do need some sort of reaction. I could do with a 4th goal here just to get us ahead on goal difference rather than goals scored. As we get the ball through Luis Skelly. Good work from him. Almost need Porto to beat the Brazilian opposition now just to get us through as DL. In he goes. Great footwork across to Jeremy Pino. Blocked as far as Hervenhoff who's beaten to it. And it stays 3-1. Another great chance goes begging. Korsavich, Wirtz, Fernandes all struggling physically. Again, the question remains, who's fit in 4 days? That kick straight to DL. Please make it count. He does make it count off the bench. Justin DL with his first of the tournament. He makes it 4-1. He gives us the goal difference advantage. And crucially, we are up to 2nd in the table with that big 3rd game to come. But it's a corner kick for the host now. I say the host, you know we're in France, but either way, it's given away from the corner to the first man. Jeremy Pino counters to Wirtz. Hervenhoff's up with them in the middle. Overlaps coming now from DL. In he goes. There's 2 in the middle. Shoots himself, hits the post, but it falls for Jeremy Pino. It's taken enough time and enough stress, but we finally got the emphatic, comfortable win we were chasing. It is 5-1 Bayern Munich. The subs have made an impact. DL and Pino for sure. And after 5 minutes, or 3 minutes of stoppage time, sorry, it is a 5-1 victory against the Mexicans. We go back up to 2nd place. We're on course to get through. We've just got to draw or beat the Brazilian opposition next up. That will be the start of the following episode, as this tournament, well, I was hoping we could get through the groups and be comfortable after 2 games. But international duty has not allowed that. Thiago Fernandes, though, returns and is on form. What we're going to be back for, though, is the 3rd and decisive group game against our Brazilian opponents. And then after that, we're going to have, hopefully, a knockout game to look forward to. If not, it might be a resignation. If you did enjoy this one, a mixed start to our tournament in the Club World Championship, then please do put a thumbs up on it. Can't remember the last time we competed in one of these in the Head Coach. Must have been some time ago. If you want to stay up to date and see if we can progress through the groups and whether or not our director of football does anything before the start of the next season, then please do subscribe and turn that notification bell on. A reminder, after this tournament, we'll do the 10-year bookmark and we'll skip ahead to see if there are any signings this summer. And then we'll decide whether or not this save will carry on or just turn to an experiment. Don't worry though, because either way, the alternate head coach will follow. So hopefully you'll stay up to date with that one too. In the meantime, though, we return with our Southend United save tomorrow, where things are hotting up in Season 11. Lots of different action across competitions. You can find the playlist so far up in the eye above. Also there, a very busy week on the football podcast with predictions across the EFL playoffs, Premier League and the National League final. Also the Twitch channel for regular live streams and chilled out chat, as well as other key playlists as well. Thank you very much for watching though. Your support is massively appreciated. And I'll see you back here next time as we look to get through the group, which we've made very hard work of thanks to some international duty.